So please meet our next speaker. Simon Stanish will tell about exceptional and actually about sales UX and how to grow and bring more sales. And let's meet.
Thank you. Hi guys, how is everyone doing? Yeah? Good show so far? Alright, well, we're all here to do business, and I'm going to give you some tips today how to do this, hopefully soon. But before that, actually, what we can do is, I want to ask everyone to stand up. And what you need to do is turn around or turn forward, find a new person that you don't know, and wait, and you need to introduce yourself. But the trick, yeah, in English, you can do it in Ukrainian, you can do it in Russian, you can even do it in Polish if you can. But the trick here is that you only have one sentence. Yeah, about 30 seconds. So you want to say what's your name and what do you do, and then we're going to talk about this. Yeah, so go ahead and I'll stop you in a couple of seconds. Cool. All right. Ding, ding, ding. Thank you. All right. Let's sit down. Yeah. That's it. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Now, tell me, who already scheduled a meeting? None of you? Okay. Yeah, okay, one exchange, that's great. Okay, who thought, wow, we should maybe work together? Two of you? Alright. And who just heard a lot of like, hi, my name is Simon, I do programming, I do Java, I do some UX, and we have the best graphic designers. Okay, who heard a lot of technical stuff? None of you? Cool, alright. Well, you're advanced guys. Okay, well, what I want to do is actually give you some tips how to make this more effective and have a great user experience in the whole process of your sales, even from the very beginning. Because what I do, my name is Simon, I'm from Star Consulting, and I help companies increase their sales efficiency. Yeah. But usually what this introduction should do is, should create this question like, oh really, how do you do that? Or what is that? Or can we talk about this? Right? So it should invite some sort of a meeting. But I'm going to talk about it in a second. But what I want to show you before that, maybe some statistics. Some of you might have seen this before, especially if you've been to my presentation. But have you heard that only 4% of unsatisfied clients report a complaint? And that's not a warranty complaint. Basically, they didn't like the user experience of your product, of your service, or they didn't like the cooperation. They're not going to tell you why they stopped working with you, right? But does that mean they're not going to talk with someone else? Are they? Or they're just going to keep quiet? They will talk, right? And the problem here is that this unsatisfied client statistically will tell 9 other people that he doesn't like this. Doesn't like you. Actually, in Poland, it's not even 9, it's like 19 or more. Right? So yeah, you better be careful with Polish clients. And if you're satisfied, are you going to tell more people about it? Not really, right? Especially in Poland. So statistically, it's only 5 people. So your happy client will only tell 5 people. Do we have that sometimes when we're not super happy with something? Yeah, we talk about it. When it's good or is like really nice, we're like, yeah, should be okay, right? And the thing is that we don't really think about this in sales, but actually the cost of getting a new client is 5 to 7 times higher than keeping the existing one. Right? So you can actually resell, you can upsell, you can get recommendations to other clients and get better access to them. Right? And we don't think about it. So we have to ask ourselves right now, can I afford not having this well-prepared strategy and not knowing the tools? So when I talk with the client, I actually find what he really needs. And my great team of tech guys, they deliver exactly that. And he's super happy. He's going to tell 5 other Polish people about it, right? Or 4.5. And basically, he's going to be open about talking more about that, right? Who here is a CEO? Okay. Who is a biz dev or a sales manager? Okay. Any tech guys? A few of you? Okay. Well, if you're working as a biz dev or as a CEO, do you sometimes have those situations where maybe you have those 2, 3 big clients, and you're super happy because you have 50, 100, 200 developers. They bring great revenue, but sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you have this feeling in your stomach like, what if they just call me today and tell me, I loved working with you, but we have to say goodbye, right? It's not a great feeling, right? Or maybe you're okay, maybe you have a lot of clients. But the thing is that they're so small that you actually get junior money for your senior developers. Not a great feeling as well, right? Or maybe you're kind of okay, but you want to scale, but you don't know what the hell is going on with your sales. You don't know how to control when to expect the next client, right? Or maybe your developers come to you and say, you know what, I heard about this great company in Dublin, Google or Facebook, and yeah, well, I'm going to get kind of the same money, but they have more interesting projects, so sorry. Right? Anyone had any of these problems? Right? So what we have to focus on is actually getting back the control of your sales. It doesn't matter if you want to get bigger clients, more clients, you have to get better projects. You have to know what's going on. Right? And you cannot really just go like, hey, okay, let's hire 5, 10 salespeople and start calling. Right? Anyone tried that? Just go without a plan and start going really fast? You think it works? It doesn't really work, right? When I talk about this, and this intro is almost done, so I'm going to go to the meat in a second, so don't worry about it. But when I think about sales, for me, sales is a little bit like running. Who likes running here? Two of you? Okay. Is running hard? Well, if someone hates running, that's fine. I hate running too, as you can see on the picture. But the thing here is that anyone can run, right? You only have to have 2 feet. You can just start running anytime. But does that mean I'm a professional? That I can go to different marathons, competitions? Not really, right? Or even if I do go there, am I going to win? No. And isn't it the same with sales? If you're a sales director or you're a CEO, if you go on the street and take 10 random people, give them a script and say, hey, call those numbers and say this, we can kind of call them salespeople, right? But are they professional? Are they going to go to meetings with big accounts? Not really, right? And even if they do, are they going to sign a $500,000 contract? Right? The chance is as big as winning the marathon, right? But what the good side is that this is controllable. So it's not like you cannot build a sales team. You cannot go and actually get that $500,000 contract. But if you want to start running, in order to be a professional, first what you have to do is find your distance or your discipline, right? Because the guys that run, probably most of you run just like jogging, right? Anyone used to run professionally? No? Okay. Well, I knew some people like that. And I heard that a 100-meter run is a totally different sport than 800, and totally different than a marathon, right? So if you think about running, you cannot just think generally about it. You have to think about, okay, how do I want to run? Where do I want to run? Do I want to run on the track, in the city, in the mountains? Do I want to run in the rain? Do I want to run in the snow? Or any other situations? Right? And once I figure that out, then I think about a technique. Because the way I eat, the way I dress, the way I train influences my actions. And once I figure that out, then I set up the training and practice. So if you think about your clients, you have to think about, okay, am I going into big B2B or small B2B? Am I talking to the CEOs, or am I pitching product owners? Or maybe project managers? Or maybe not them, maybe someone else, right? Because if you talk with the CEO, well, you know what? There's a different way of talking to a CEO and a different way of talking to a CTO, project manager, etc. Right? You agree? Yeah. And once you figure that out, then you have to think about the actual actions, that's great, set up the training and optimize those steps. And then you actually get effective. So I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to give you some tips how to start this process, how to give knowledge to your salespeople, or how to give tips on different stages. And of course, I cannot give you super lot of information just in 30 minutes, but I'll try. But if you do have some questions, we'll try to leave some space at the end, or you can always approach me after the presentation so we can talk about that. But why am I talking about sales? By me. Well, these are some of our clients. You probably know some of the startups at the top, like Google or Deutsche Telekom. But what we actually do is we work with large corporations, but we have a lot of small companies, even like 1 or 2 people startups. But majority of our clients are people in the middle. Companies with like 30 up to like 600, 700 people. Because they're the ones that scale the best. They need to scale fast. And a lot of times they don't have a lot of chances to do this. Because if you do have those 2, 3 clients, and you know they're going away in half a year, you don't have a lot of time, right, to do this. So we help out with those people. But how we got here is an interesting story. It's not me on the picture, but this is actually my partner. We used to work in the United States as door-to-door salespeople. Yeah, we were like the human version of email spam. Yeah. No, but actually the job was really professional. We worked for a company that is over 165 years on the market, doing door-to-door sales. And my job as a salesperson was to come to someone's house without calling them or sending them an email. I used to show up at the door, knock at the door, and when they opened, I had about 30 to 40 seconds to build trust so they can invite me inside. Me, with my Polish smile, my Central European accent, I had to go inside. If they did, I had about 15 minutes to sell them books. But the books, they weren't magazines. They were books to help kids to go to college and work with homework. They cost usually between $600 to up to $2,000 for a set. I had 15 minutes to sell them. If they liked the books, I took the order, took half of the money, and they had to wait 3 months to get the books. Talking about trust, right? But what this did, it actually helped us be really good at getting trust, building trust, at qualifying people. Because that's the problem. A lot of salespeople are just wasting time, right? You have this client who always tells you, just call us back in like a month or 2. And you call them back. 5 times, they don't pick up. When they pick up, they're like, yeah, thank you for calling back, but can you... Yeah, 2 more months, right? And you're, after like 5th call, you're like, oh, I cannot do this anymore. I hate my job, right? I want to kill myself. And the other guy's like, oh, this sales guy, he's always calling me. Can I understand I'm telling him no? So what we did is actually we had to get those no's really fast so we can go to the yeses. And also I had to do 30 physical presentations a day. So if the sales guy tells me, I cannot get 5 calls, it's really hard. I'm like, Let me tell you a story. Right, but what happened is actually, I worked there 5 years, Olivia, my partner, worked there 10 years, and Eric, who's here, he's the photographer today, so he's going to be speaking tomorrow. He actually worked 9 years over there, and Eric also wrote a book, so you can even Google him. He wrote a book about business. He was on CNN, Forbes, so if you want to know how to advertise your book, he's the guy. Yeah. But yeah, let's get to the meat. So let me give you some tips how to work with your clients to make this really smooth and make this effective. First of all, if you think about sales, a lot of people think about sales as 1-0. I either get a client or I don't, right? And it's good at the very beginning, but if you think about all the actions that you do, you should know what's going on, let's say in this half a year that you talk with the client. You should know how to control this. And what I always tell people is to get a process, some sort of a process. Because a process doesn't mean that you're a corporation and you have all these rules. No, basically these are steps that you follow that you can optimize. These are steps that you can control. So you know exactly how to approach people. If you approach them by certain steps, you know what's the conversion rate in different steps. And after that, you also know when to expect information from people. Right? Either if it's a yes or a no. And if you don't have a process, basically you're just, maybe you'll be lucky like Columbus and you end up in America somehow, but it's better to actually know where you're going and control this all the way. And with the process, it's really cool because if it works for you as one, let's say, sales director, it's super easy to scale. Right? Because it works for you, you have statistics on that. Copy paste this on 5 other people. Great. Now you have a great sales team with an analysis system that you can control and you can work on. A really simple process that usually I teach is like 8 steps. Really simple. First contact, so this is the time when we send an email, call, meet someone in an event. Then we schedule a meeting, which basically we talk about ideas, talk about clients, what we do. Then we do the technical demonstration. So we show how we do this, what we presented. We summarize, we negotiate the price. And this is a big thing. For example, a lot of people start with the price because they think, oh, if I'm cheap, if we go low on price, they're going to buy this. It doesn't really work like that. People don't need low price. They actually need something else, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. Then we want to close, sign the contract, and get the referrals. Who gets referrals here? Wow, your guys experienced. Okay. Who actually gets referrals when they ask for it? All right. That's a good conversion, 30%. So I'll show you how to ask for referrals so you don't end up at a wall every single time you have a meeting. Because with this, each meeting should generate a new one. It doesn't matter if someone buys or not, you just get another meeting. So I'm going to show in a minute how to do this. But how to start? Well, the first contact doesn't matter what medium you use. It can be either email, it can be a phone call, it can be a meeting. Just even here, you can meet someone. Just like when you introduce someone. The people that exchange business cards, did you say, hey, let's grab a Skype call or let's talk in a week, 2, 3? Or no? Or you just exchange like, yeah, okay. Yeah, here you go. So what you want to do is every time you introduce yourself and you see there is possibility of working together, maybe some chemistry, and you don't have to know for sure if they're going to buy. If basically people are interested in talking, set up a different time and space. Say, wow, this is really cool. You do mobile apps, I'm actually helping out, with graphic design. How about we set up a Skype call from, a week from now, 10 minutes, just to talk about ideas. If we like it, then we can do a formal meeting. If not, no big deal. What happens here? Basically, we start controlling what's happening with our process, right? Because do you sometimes have that? You go to a conference or trade shows, you come back with 2 bags of business cards, right? And later with all the sales team, you throw it together in a pile, put a fire and start dancing around because you cannot do anything with it, right? We had that before. So what we do is basically every time we meet someone, think about this. Okay, oh, you want to save time with app development? That's what we do. Is it really a big problem or so-so? Oh, it's a big problem? How about we call Monday? Without work, because I know you're pretty busy right now, but maybe Monday we can talk on Skype for 15 minutes. Oh, it's not a big problem? How about ping you in a month? Right? Put it in a calendar and ping them. Everyone has 15 minutes to talk. Right? Who doesn't have 15 minutes? Okay, yeah, one person. That's a quite low statistic, so everyone has 15 minutes. So set up a different time and space, and this is pretty easy, right? Especially if you think about the value that you bring. So what I do is I say, hey, I'm helping companies increase sales efficiency. I'm meeting different CEOs and sales directors, and yeah, how about we sit down and talk about this next week? Would that work? Monday or Tuesday would be better. A lot of people will tell you yes right away. And then, once you're in a meeting, or even when you approach people and you want to build a connection, it's pretty easy, right, to say, oh yeah, you have to build trust, and you have to connect, and have this chemistry. Yeah, but how to do this, right? It's pretty simple. Think about your target group. If, let's say, we're talking about CEOs of software houses, or maybe you're pitching, let's say, agencies in US, and you already have a client like that. Tell them about it. Say, hey, Peter, hi, this is Simon. I'm calling from company ABC, and I'm actually responsible for talking with CEOs of agencies in US, in New York, that are doing this IoT stuff. Right? Well, you cannot say stuff, but do it professionally. But yeah, and I've been just talking last week with Adam from this company, and with Peter from this other agency, and I wanted to, schedule 15 minutes with you. When would be the best time? Monday or Tuesday? And now, right, I've chosen 2 other CEOs of similar companies from the same city. So if he knows those people, right, they're friends, does he want to meet with me? Yeah. If he doesn't know them personally, but they're just competitors, does he want to meet with me? Yeah, right? To start with from the clients that you have, and just say about it. Hey, I just met with these guys. You don't have to say they bought. They're my clients. Maybe you're still in the process, but you met them, right? And don't lie, because lies don't work. There's a song even about it, so I'm gonna sing today. So try to build a connection through this. Another way of building a connection is building a buying atmosphere. Who heard about this before? Few of you? Okay, so kind of. Now, what you want to do is you want to put like some nice music and candle. No, no, this is more mental buying atmosphere. So what I want to do is be transparent to the whole process, because what's the biggest problem with clients? Basically, it's really hard to ask are you interested or not, right? You cannot really do this. So sometimes we have this little game when the client says, yeah, just call me a little bit later, maybe we'll talk, right? And you're like, oh yeah, he's excited, he will buy, definitely buy, but he really wants to tell you no, right? Because we build a connection, maybe we had some good names. So what you want to do is tell him, hey, Peter, what I'm going to do is show you some ideas behind this. If you like these ideas, tell me yes. We'll go ahead and start working. I can even show you how to order this product. But if for some reason you don't like this, please tell me no. Because I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste my time. That's pretty hard, right? Because some people are like, I don't want to tell them, say no. But I'll tell you a secret. They already know they can say no, right? But the thing is that if you build this connection, they don't want to hurt your feelings. So they'll be thinking like, well, I like this Simon guy, so yeah, maybe I won't tell him no, maybe I'll create this story that my dog is sick and we have to go to Argentina for the surgery, and yeah, so maybe then he'll think, we'll solve it, right? And then he's basically wasting my time, and his time as well. So we want to be transparent, because what happens is that when people tell you no, well, they're happy, you're happy, because you don't have to waste time, but most of the time, they actually can give you referrals to people that would need your product, right? So build a buying atmosphere. Another big thing with sales is finding a need, but I'm not talking about logical needs. I'm talking more about emotional needs. Because people buy based on emotions. Because whoever does this, you go to the store, you look at the tag when you want to buy a shirt, and you're like, okay, it's 80% cotton, 20% polyester. Super logical, I'll take it. Right? Anyone? No? Well, basically the thing is that everyone wants to have a logical reason to buy, but it's driven by emotions. So if I'm a sales director and I need a CRM, I'm not going to buy this because I just need to be organized. The thing is that I'm frustrated with this mess that I have, and I have to reach targets that I'm not reaching, and my salespeople are quitting because of this mess, and my wife is mad at me because I have to stay till 8 or 9 p.m. at work, right? And I'm just sick of this, and that's why I'm going to buy, right? So you have to think about what's your client's emotional reason. If we look at this technically, I don't know if you know this guy. So yeah, okay, so imagine we have a sales meeting with Mario today. Right, so we're like, hey Mario, how's business, how's life? He's like, Simon, yeah, it's cool, I'm killing those turtles, killing those mushrooms, but every time I go to the end of the stage, there's this big guy that I hate. Really, Mario, what's that? Like, well, there's this dragon, and I have to kill him, but he's 3 times bigger than me, he throws fire, and basically I just get killed every time. And normal salespeople are like, hey Mario, I have this super flower. I'll give you that, you'll be bigger, and you'll kill him. Right? Some of Marios might buy. But if I'm a really professional salesperson, I would ask, okay Mario, but why do you want to kill this dragon? Oh, alright. There's a princess there. Okay, so Mario, if I can give you something to be bigger, stronger, and kill the dragon really fast, and be with your princess, would that be something you'd like to get? What do you think he'd say? Yeah, he would say yeah. And basically the princess is this frustration, is this lack of time, is this pressure that your clients feel. So you have to find a way for them to tell you, yeah, I do feel pressure. I am frustrated. Bless you. Right? So think about the princess. And especially if you talk with your clients and introduce yourself, just like I did in the beginning. If, let's say, your thing is saving time with app development, say, hey, my name is Simon. I'm from this and this company, and actually I save time with app development. That will invite questions, which will get you to a meeting, which will get you to finding the princess even deeper, and then signing the deal. Cool? All right. Then, cover objections in advance. Who likes objections? You do? Okay. Who doesn't like objections? Who would love to not have objections at all? Well, the thing is, all you have to do is say them first. It's like a game. So some of you I can see heard this concept. So if, for example, my client would have an objection, we don't outsource. Because the communication is bad, but we have a policy, we don't outsource. I say it first. I say, well, Peter, the best thing about our company, what people like about this, is the communication. Because some people say, well, we don't outsource because it's far away, different time zones, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, that's later. I don't sell today, tomorrow. Buying atmosphere, see? But basically what you do is, once you cover this and you say, yeah, and, well, see, I lost the thought. When you say, well, communication. What people really like is communication, because it's just like Peter said. It was like, at first we had this policy of not outsourcing, blah, blah, blah. But we found that when we have a local team, since they're in the one office, they don't use the tools to communicate right. They don't send emails, and sometimes they actually get lost, and that's the reason why we fail. And once we started outsourcing to Ukraine, to Poland, anywhere else, those people are really strict with this communication, and we're always on time. And that's what they like about us. Right? So what you want to do is think about what are the objections for your CEOs, for your CTOs, or any other personas. Really fast. Don't demonstrate too much. You know how long is my presentation? 2 minutes usually. Or sometimes I don't even do a presentation. Why? Because logic doesn't matter. People buy based on emotions. So if you do have to show something, show a screenshots from Jira. show, I don't know, maybe like a calendar, how often do you see people, or show some sort of a solution, or the best, show a testimonial from a client. Because that's it, people don't buy based on logic. So usually the problem with salespeople is that they kill the sales because they do a 2-hour presentation about how great they are. The client doesn't care. He needs to know if you're going to save him time on app development and minimize the frustration that he has so he can spend time with his children. Okay? So don't demonstrate. And I'm not going to talk about that because it's not important. Then close to get a decision. People don't make a decision in the close. They already decided before, so you have to take that decision out somehow. And I don't have a lot of time left. I would give you some tips. Maybe we can do that later, or you can just find me on LinkedIn and ask me how to do this. There's actually ways to take that decision out without pressure. Then if you do get those objections at the end, answer them properly. You cannot say, well, if you get that objection at the end, well, but we don't outsource. You can't go, but we do Java, and you know, those nice buttons that we have here is really awesome. You said you liked it. No, it doesn't matter. So what we have to do is, first of all, relax. And it's normal for people to have objections. To say then, hey, I know how you feel. Actually, Peter felt the same way. And I totally feel you. But then when we started thinking about it, he was like, yeah. At first, we had this policy of not outsourcing. So see, I can use the same story from there. But when I don't freak out, it's actually smooth, and people are like, oh, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. And even if they say no, right? So one thing that if you do get objections, if you get 2 objections that are the same, so you get an objection, you cover it, and they got the same objection, it's true. So you can ask directly, okay, you don't have the budget, how can we fix this? Do you want this? Then you can ask. If the objection changes each time, they're not sold. Don't waste time with them, just go. You know, of course, tell them you're going to ping them back in a year or so, but yeah, they're not sold. Okay? And the last thing, get referrals. How to ask for referrals, right? Because it's really hard. You cannot just say, hey, would you know someone who would like to buy? Right? Try to do this. This is a magic line. Write it down. If you meet someone and they say no, say, cool, all right, no problem. Can I ask for your help? What would they say? Sure, little boy, how can I help you, right? Then you say, you know, I'm fine, you know, just like I said, you know, if you don't like it, you don't have to buy, but would you know 2 or 3 other companies here in the area that would like to learn about what I do, or would like to see my presentation, not buy. I would like to get more information about my topic. Right? Especially if they said no, they actually know people that need this kind of value that you bring. Right? So can I ask for your help? Would you know anyone that would like to see my presentation? And if you do that, you'll see that almost everyone, 90% of people, will give you those referrals. And they'll be more than happy to do that, because people love to help out. Okay? So what we can do right now, think about this really fast. What is the value that you bring? Do you save time on app development? Do you optimize the process? However it is, think about this. Stand up. Stand up. Go to the same person and introduce yourself. And tell them, hey, my name is Simon. I help companies increase sales efficiency and go to new markets. Right? And set up a new time and space. And after that, add me to LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, yeah, just pitch me. Cool. Thank you.